I'm taking them coins, taking that check.
Hey YouTube, it's Tashia back with another video. I am back on US soil, you guys. It has been a week since I've been back. It's pretty hard to believe. Just a week ago today, I was in Europe. I was in London, getting ready to head back to the US. So it's officially been a week since I've been home. I mean, it's cool to be home, but I could have stayed a little while longer. You know, I was really enjoying the environment. But nonetheless, I'm back. I'm sitting here at the lake. Went and got me some lunch. So I came to the lake to, eat and just unwind before I head back out on the road, just ripping and running and handling business. But yeah, so I'm back. And in this video, I will be discussing some do's and don'ts if you plan on taking a European vacation, and particularly for like 2 weeks, because that's how long I was gone. And when I usually vacation, I'm usually gone for about a week. This is the longest I've vacationed, in one stretch. It wasn't so bad. But yeah, so I got some do's and don'ts for you guys. And first things first, look at my forehead. I think I got out of the house, like really out of the house, on Tuesday, and this happened. I felt something. I'm like, something's on me, and but obviously I didn't get it in time. When I was in Europe, not bit by one mosquito, not one insect. And that is a problem here in the US for me. I don't know if I just attract them, but I'm always getting eaten by insects and mosquitoes. It's the worst. When I was in Europe, I noticed I didn't get like one mosquito bite, not one insect bite, except for in Paris. Like I noticed a lot of little gnats in Paris, and I did feel like I got bit maybe once or twice, but nothing like, it was not nearly as bad as I get here in the US. So that was a plus. I was able to be outside and not have to worry about, putting on off or anything like that. The first thing you want to do is do your research, right? Check with your banks, your credit card companies, to see if they charge international fees. I did check with my credit card company. I was advised that there would be no international fees, so that was a plus. And I used my credit card for, my spending money, what I budgeted to spend. So I was like, I'm good on that part. However, I let my bank know I was traveling, just so they wouldn't, lock my card for suspicious activity. So I did let them know I was traveling, but I did not discuss any fees with them, and they did not bring any fees up. And I don't know why I didn't think about it, but it was not on my mind. I'm like, this is not the first time I've traveled internationally and used my bank card. But I didn't think fees. They're going to charge fees. Fees ate me up. I think at one point I tallied up, the first day in Paris, I tallied up how much fees the bank charged me. And at that point, it was like $168 just in fees. Those little 14 cent, $4, $2. I think the largest fee I had was $88, and that was for the hotel room in Paris, because I paid for that with my bank card, and I got charged an $88 processing fee from the bank. I think in London, I got a tattoo, and the tattoo was $128. I ended up paying like $148, plus the $4 and like 66 cent processing fee from the bank. So those fees add up. So if you could get you a credit card that do not charge fees. And had I known, I just would have put all the money on my credit card and just did that. It would have saved me almost $200. So yeah, I'm not even gonna go back and add it up because I know it's right at 200. It has to be. But I did end up maybe like the second day transferring money from my bank card to my credit card to just alleviate getting more fees. So definitely check with your credit card company or your bank to see about international fees. Don't let that sneak up on you. Also research the currency conversion rates. In London they use the pound currency. In Amsterdam and Paris they use euros, which was pretty easy like to understand. Just know that if something, for instance, costs say you spend $100 and in euros and you're using American money or your bank card or your credit card, you're gonna be paying about 107. So it's like, oh my god, it's super cheap, everything's super cheap, but I still end up paying like American prices, which sucked, really sucked. Money really don't hold up in those places. American money really don't hold up. So yeah, keep that in mind. Like I said, in London I got a tattoo, it was $120. I ended up paying $148, and that's not even including the processing fee. So it's about $148 when in actuality it was $120. And what I also noticed, they didn't tax. There was no taxes on anything that I purchased, but the tax was the American dollar. So yeah, keep that in mind. Research the currency conversion rates. That'll really help you out. So you know that you won't get blindsided by that, thinking like, oh, you know, this is that much. Because like for the Paris hotel, that was like $2,700, you know, plus. And I ended up paying $29. I think it was like $27.65, and I ended up paying $29.65. So understand the rates. And I think my cousin did look into the rates, the currency rates, conversion rates, but I think they went up. So we end up having to like add like $40 each additional to the Paris hotel, which wasn't too bad. But you know, what if you didn't, you know, you were really on a tight budget, and you know, now you're going into your souvenir spending money, you know. But yeah, keep that in mind. Also, another thing that you might want to do is download a navigational app before you leave. My cousins downloaded the City Mapper navigational app, and that really helped us out a lot with just navigating the city, getting on the tubes, finding the correct train station. Like it was a lifesaver. Like it really helped us navigate really well. Like we didn't really run into any problems with navigation. Like it was very spot on with, you know, telling you the times, like what time the buses come. Like it was really, really, really helpful. So please make sure you down a navigational app. Again, my cousins them use City Mapper. We all have Apple, so I don't know if Android might have something different, but if you have an iPhone, City Mapper is really good. And I think they use another app when we were in Amsterdam. I'm not sure about that app, but again, very helpful. So you want to make sure you do that. And also Also, here's a big one. Check with your cell phone provider if they have international service. I did check with, I have a local cell phone, which I can use anywhere in the US. I think you can even use it kind of like in Mexico, but I believe that's because it's a lot of, Mexicans or people from Mexico that have that service. So, check with your cell phone provider. I knew that, but then I was doing research online and it was like, oh, if you do this and you just get a code. But then when I went into the store, they was like, no. I was going to get a prepaid cell phone, but at the last minute I was like, oh, I'll be okay as long as there's Wi-Fi, I'm good. I don't really talk on my phone, so I knew I wasn't going to get that much activity, people calling and things of that nature. And I really don't like talking to people when I'm on vacation that's back home, because I just really want to enjoy my vacation. But I regret not getting a prepaid phone, because I really didn't feel comfortable leaving out on my own because I didn't have, service on my cell phone. Like, I couldn't use the city mapper because, again, I had to always be connected to Wi-Fi in order to use my phone. So I felt naked, because I just couldn't use my phone at will, and I didn't like that. And I know I would have never been on my phone like that. Maybe just using the city mapper or, Googling things and, stuff like that. But as far as being on social media and, just talking on my phone, like, no. But again, I felt very naked because I just couldn't move the way I wanted to and felt, safe and comfortable. I always felt like I had to be attached to one of my cousins because, of course they had like AT&T and T-Mobile, service. So they were good, for, me just feeling safe. Like, I don't want to go too far off on my own and I don't have cell phone service. So that's another thing. Make sure you have international cell phone service. You just gotta have it. Another thing, you must have an itinerary. It is, so important, especially for like a 2-week vacation. Because if you think you're gonna wing it and just go with the flow in a place you really don't know anything about, you don't know where's, the bar, popping bars, like, any of that, have an itinerary. Because if you don't, shit get boring really quick. You get bored not having anything to do. It's one thing to be at home bored, but when you're on vacation, you don't want to be bored. Like, you want to enjoy, the city. You want to enjoy where you are. And, just winging it, especially if you're not a spontaneous, type of, get up and go person, and you don't have that type of, attitude, where you can make friends. If you don't have a people person or that spontaneity, I think I said that wrong, but whatever. If you don't have that, have an itinerary. You know what I'm saying? We had one, but we didn't stick to it, for, various reasons. But it's important, have an itinerary. I knew in Paris there were certain things that, like, I have to do this. So I was good there. I knew in London there was certain things I wanted to do. I didn't necessarily get to do them, but like, I knew those, certain things in those places that it's a must do. Amsterdam, didn't really know much about that city. I didn't plan a trip, so I didn't really do any research. That's another thing you want to do. Even if you're not the planner of the trip, you still want to do extensive research, just to know, kind of learn the city. I'm usually that type of person, but I'm usually the one that usually plans the trip. But this time it wasn't my planning, and I just wanted to, trust someone else, which was fine. It's just like, for me, it don't work that way. I learned that system don't work for me. I need to do my own research, and not go somewhere blindly. Again, London and Paris, I was familiar, with some some landmarks and things to do. So that was fine. But Amsterdam, really didn't know too much other than coffee shop, canals, red light district. But yeah, do your research, learn the city, try to learn as much about the culture. That'll really help. Another thing, packing. And the crazy thing is, saw videos like on TikTok of, Europeans talking about Americans with these large ass suitcases, going, guys, I packed at least 28 outfits, not including like night clothes, underclothes. Like, I packed based on an itinerary that was created, that we did not stick to. So in reality, I did not need as many outfits as I packed. Had I known we were not going to stick to that itinerary, I would not have packed so many clothes. Hell, I wouldn't have did as much shopping as I did for the trip, because there was really no need. I literally maybe wore not even half of what I packed. And that's because usually, like I said, when I travel, I go to warmer climates, and I'm very hot-natured. I'll sweat easily. I don't like feeling sticky. I don't like feeling sweaty or any of that. So I'm always day outfit, midday shower, another outfit. And also, we're going to dinner, have a dinner, that's how I roll. But being that I was in cooler climate areas and there was no humidity, I did not need to change clothes that often. And I packed like very cool clothes, because I was tracking the weather. That's another thing you want to do, see what the climate is like. So I had, each place on my weather app, tracking the weather. So I knew, they had some cooler nights, but again, there was no humidity. So I packed a variety of things. So for Paris was extremely hot. I wasn't expecting that because London wasn't as hot. Amsterdam definitely wasn't as hot. So I didn't really pack any cool clothes for Paris, but it worked out because I had outfits from the other two places that I didn't wear, like the shorts and the summer dresses, because it was cooler in those places, so there was no need to. So I lucked up in that area. But again, had I known that we wouldn't have been sticking to that itinerary, I could have took a carry-on bag instead of the luggage I took, and that would have been very helpful. So yeah, because let me tell you, London wasn't so bad, but there was a lot of walking. So when we're walking from the tube to where we're gonna be staying for the duration of the vacation, a lot of times it's like a 9-minute walk, 4-minute walk, and you're walking with your luggage. Again, that wasn't so bad. Amsterdam, that wasn't so bad, because the tube was literally right next to where we were staying. So it wasn't that bad of a walk, but it was still about a 7 to 8 minute walk. But it wasn't that bad, because it was you get off, turn right, make another right, and then a left, and you're there at your place. So it wasn't that bad. But when we got to Paris, yeah, there were no escalators, no elevators. When you're on a tube, you're going upstairs. So you're hauling that big ass luggage up all those stairs, up and down, up and down, up and down, getting on the tubes, transfer. And I tell you, it was the worst. And I was like, had I known. So please pack light. Try to get, you know, room and board or hotels where there's a large laundry facility. London, we had a laundry room, so that helped out. I was able to do laundry because, you know, I really don't like a lot of clothes, you know, dirty. Who wants to travel with dirty clothes? So I was able to, you know, do some laundry, and that worked out. Yeah, so next, you know, places I'm staying has to have laundry. I'll take a couple of pair of shorts and wash. The most I have is shirts to switch that shit out, because it really, you know, I was that person like, you know, new outfit, this and that, new look. It really ain't that serious. And again, 7-day vacation, not that bad. 14 outfits, give and take a couple of more. You know, it's really not that bad, but going with 30 plus outfits, that's a bit much. So definitely do not overpack. It's not that serious. You definitely want to always pack with a sweater or light jacket, because the nights can get cool. And especially in Amsterdam, that first day there, I'm like, are we in fall? It was cold. So I was glad I had a jean jacket. I ended up buying a beanie to help me stay warm. That's how cool it was. And I'm typically a person that doesn't bother me. But pack a light sweater, light jacket, because, you know, climate, you don't really know how that climate works, you know. So just be prepared. Here's a big one. Washcloths. I usually pack washcloth, towels, like anything that I would need at home, I pack for vacation. But for some reason, this time it's like, you know, I'm not gonna pack any washcloths or towels, you know, I'll just use what the hotel have, you know. Again, because I had so many clothes and I was trying to limit the amount that I had in my luggage, so I eliminated those items. Big mistake. Towels, plentiful. London, Amsterdam had no washcloths. There was none. We did not run into washcloths until Paris. And we're like, Paris has washcloths. We actually went to a store, purchased like hand towels and cut them up. So we made I think we had about 16 to 18 washcloths, handmade washcloths we made for the duration of the trip. And it worked out because we used them. So pack with washcloths. Yeah, because apparently it's not a thing. You know, I know not everybody uses them, but I didn't think they wouldn't be an option, you know, in hotels. But yeah, pack your washcloths. That's a big one. Another thing, you want to make sure you have the like converter box for your plugs. That's a big one, because European plugs, not everybody has the same plugs, outlets, as America. They're very different. We did do a lot of research on things that we should have for Europe, and that was a big one. So make sure you pack that. I think I got one from Amazon for it was less than $12, I think. less than 15 for sure. But you're gonna need that. Yeah, some places had like, if you know, USB, and that helped. But if you're gonna, you know, have your laptops and things, you know, I get a convertible plug outlet thingy. You need it. Okay, you need it. Another thing, make sure you have snacks for your living quarters. Okay, so if you're drinking, you know, Amsterdam coffee shops, you're gonna get the munchies. We did pretty good in London. We had hella snacks because, you know, we stores, and you know, it's the first leg of the trip, so we were just trying, you know, chips, and so we had snacks on deck. But when we got to like Amsterdam was pretty, because the bar stayed open in our stay where we were staying, so that was fine. But when we got to Paris, we were doing Uber Eats because them late nights, and we were staying up to like 4 or 5 in the morning. We were hungry. But yeah, we should have had snacks, and there were stores around, but we just didn't think. But have snacks, you know, for your living quarters, just in case, you know, you're gonna need them. Okay, so you won't have to be spending $40 on the Uber Eats, and it was really only like $19. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to spend any extra money. Just pack some snacks. The language barrier. Learn a couple of phrases. Really, London, they speak English, so that was no, you know, whatever, not bad. Amsterdam, they're, you know, they speak English too, but you know, it's Dutch. So you heard a lot of Dutch speaking. But when you go into like, you know, restaurants, bars, you know, stores, a lot of times they know English. So it wasn't that big of, you know, it wasn't a problem because pretty much everyone spoke English, some English, so you were able to communicate. But, you know, courtesy, just learn a couple of phrases, you know, hi, thank you, bye. You know, I took French in school, so that was, you know, I was good on bonjour, merci beaucoup. You know, I was good a little bit with that, but for the most part, it was all English speaking. You know, didn't really run into any problems. And when they did come at you speaking in a different language, you use English, and they're like, oh, and they speak English to you. So, but courtesy, you know, out of respect, learn some simple, you know, phrases in that language. Walking shoes. You must buy comfortable walking shoes because you're gonna be doing a lot of walking. Okay. One, you just want to walk and sightsee, and they're walkable areas. Like, everybody walks. Okay. They either walk or they bike. And we saw some scooters, but pretty much everyone walks. We knew this. I bought Dr. Scholl's shoes because, again, I'm very flat foot, so I knew that was going to be a problem. You know, flat foot, start messing with the knees, back. It's a whole thing. So I packed comfortable shoes only. I took a pair of heels just for photo ops, and we didn't do any dinners for real, so I didn't even have to pull out the heels. But make sure you get comfortable walking shoes, okay? You have to. There's a lot of walking. Cobblestones. So, comfortable walking shoes is a must, okay? If you don't get no comfortable walking shoes, you will regret it, all right? Another thing that saved my life was my portable fan. I had a handheld fan, and I know a lot of my videos, I know you could hear it. But again, I get very hot, sweat easily, so that was my friend. Portable fan, okay? Another thing, transportation. Again, we walked pretty much everywhere, but you know, some places, you know, it's just easier to get on the tube. I love the tube. I understand, like, we need a subway system here in Tennessee. Like, it's just so easy to get around. The tickets, the passes to get, it was pretty cheap. In London and Amsterdam, all you needed was your credit card, tap and go. If you didn't purchase, you know, a ticket or Oyster card, just tap your credit card and get on. Now Paris, they use an old system. You got to buy a ticket. I think it was like $2.10 for one way, to get on the bus or either, you know, the subway or tube or whatever. For there and back, $4.20. Really not that bad, but Paris y'all need to update. I hated y'all tubes the most. They were old, they were dated. Again, even the bus, like, you couldn't just tap your card, which I guess is fine, but when you have tourists and convenience for your, you know, the local people, everyone uses their credit card. In a tap and go system is very helpful. I loved Amsterdam. Amsterdam buses and tubes were the best. They were the nicest. They were the cleanest. It was just, you know, I didn't feel like, you know, it was nice. London's, I expected theirs to be the worst, but it really wasn't. We got a one, it was like super hot. I'm like, this doesn't have any air circulation. But other than that, it was fine. Paris need to update their system. But I don't do public transportation here. We only have like the MTA buses, and they don't run all day. And in certain areas, they don't run. But if we had a legitimate, like, public transportation, like, system, I would definitely use it, because it just made life easier. We only Ubered once, and everything else was either walking, bus, tubes. Real easy. And we took trains to get between the countries. Really was inexpensive to do that. Yeah, I loved it. America, and particularly Tennessee, step your game up. We got to. Another thing, I felt safe. There was not a point where I was like, this seems sketchy. I need to, you know, of course, you know, I have my fanny pack, because, you know, pickpocketing, especially in Paris, is a thing. You know, anywhere you go, you know, you take precaution. But I felt safe. And particularly in London, like, walking that one night we were walking in London, and to me it seemed like to be a bit sketchy area, but I did not feel unsafe. Like, I did raise them, like, should we walk back? You guys, it's dark now. We don't really know. But we decided to walk back, and I felt safe. Like, everybody walks. Like, so it's not like you were the only one out there. So that was super cool. Huge thing to do. Huge. And I'm gonna make this my last point, because I gotta go, because I've been on this phone for a while. Plan days of rest. It's important. We actually did that. I don't think we planned to, but I know for me in particular, like, my body, and it could be because I'm older, my body will say, sit down. You've been doing too much. So I took rest days, and that helped, because I think I'm just now getting back to normal on, you know, America's time, because in Europe, in London, the sun starts setting about 9:30, you know. So about 10 o'clock, it's getting dark there. Paris, I actually took a video of the sun starting to set at 10:06. That was the time. So, not used to that. I'm used to about 7:45 here. And you know, we got daylight saving time. So, and then, yeah, it's a whole adjustment. Because in London, we were 6 hours ahead, you know? And then you get to Amsterdam and Paris, you're 7 hours ahead of US time. So adjusting to that. So a lot of times we're up to 4 or 5 in the morning because we're still on American time, you know, and then getting up at 10. We started our days late. Like, we didn't start leaving out of hotels until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But we still got up like at 10, 11 o'clock. But, you know, plan days of rest. It is important. But yeah, that's all I got right now. I'm pretty sure I left out some things, but I think I covered the basics. Plan trips. See different places. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. And then it makes you come back and look at where you are, like, it's something better out there. And it's attainable. Like, I don't have to be here, you know? So yeah, I plan on taking more trips. Got more trips planned. Hopefully Tokyo, I get to do that next year, for my daughter's senior trip. So yeah, I am, yeah, I got some month of vacations coming up, but I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, y'all get out and travel, enjoy life. It's a big world out there, you know, go see it.